In this video, I'll be talking about the different mirror tools in Fusion 360. One mirror tool is the one within the sketch mode. Usually you don't use this for plate creation, but I will point out that it does exist. You create some kind of line, okay, like so, and then we parallel this one and this one, so that's something to mirror over. Though the line does not necessarily have to be parallel, then you can use the mirror tool. Select certain objects, like this line, I don't know, maybe I want that arc for some reason, and I mirror it over this line here. Okay, and the reason why these lines are not constrained is because the line they're being mirrored over is not constrained. If we were to put in solid dimension, 1/2 inch, now everything is constrained properly, as you can see. Okay, but I'm not going to save this. I'm just going to see all that. Show you the more relevant mirror tool. Okay, so now we have our 3 plates here, and instead of copying and moving them all around, I mean, when you pull up the move tool, there's actually you can select a certain component and create a copy when you move it, but I'm going to show you the mirror tool, which lets you mirror pieces across a plane you create. And in this case, I would say that the mirror tool is more effective at copying all of these components. Okay. Now, I'm going to activate base structure probably, and across, like in the sketch mode, right, we had to create a line to mirror across. And when you're working with these 3D components, you have to create a construction plane to mirror across. Okay, and so if I go to construct, offset plane, actually, well, there's different kinds of planes we can make. I'm going to make a mid plane, just to make sure this is right in the middle between these 2 planes. Okay. Okay, that, and now we have a mid plane here. Then I'm going to pull up the mirror tool, type select components. Okay, I'm selecting these 3 components. I will mirror it over this plane. Okay, and you can see the mirrors there. Okay, create another mid plane between the surface and the surface. Okay, and I'll pull up the mirror tool again and select these 3 components and mirror it over this plane. Okay, and if you CADed all of this properly, it would line up like so. And then, like a sketch, after you deal with planes, you usually want to hide them. They're not necessary to, showing the file, and usually make the file look a bit crowded. Okay, and there we go. Instead of having to, copy, move, and change the orientation of some of the pieces to make this all work properly, we just mirrored the pieces, and they all line up. Now, why don't we normally do this with like a C channel, for example? You actually can do it with C channel, but you have to do it with components that haven't been touched by the VEX plugin. The VEX plugin just like modifies parts in a certain way that makes mirroring not work, because this is a, this is an add-in to Fusion 360 that usually is not part of Fusion 360, and it makes it easier for beginners to CAD, specifically to do VEX CAD, but it screws up certain other CADing processes that you just don't normally have. So if you use parts from the V1 library, okay, if you use C channel from the V1 library and you cut down the C channel and with an older style, not using the plugin, which is you can find in another video in this playlist. Or you want to mirror something that you've actually created, like these plates here, that does work. Okay, but the mirror tool will not work on most things that the plugin touches. Okay, and generally speaking, when you import something from this V3 library, like, I go to structure, I go to aluminum, I import this 1x1 angle channel, and I insert in a current design, the plugin will automatically prompt me to use it on it after I move in a certain position. Now this plugin dialog pulls up that's modified part, right? And I get 30 holes, instance. Okay. And then afterward, I try to mirror this. It's not going to be very happy. Because it will not show the modifications you did to the original part, right? We cut it down from 35 holes to 30 holes. The mirror piece won't show this change. Because, I don't know, the mirror tool just doesn't agree with the plugin. So, actually, that's really weird. Okay, it does cut it. You can see it's in two separate pieces now, but this part of it is now hidden in the original, I guess, but it doesn't carry over when you mirror pieces. So if you want to use the mirror tool on C-channel structures, import those types of C-channel structures from the version 1 library and use the other way to modify parts by extruding down part of the C-channel. So let me quickly show you that. I go to the version 1 library, I go to structure, I go to C-channels, I take this piece, right, and I don't know, I put it here, rotate degrees, I'll put you here so it's more clear it's being mirrored. Yeah, okay, go okay. Of course, I have to break the link. To activate the component, create a sketch on, there's different ways to do this, but I'm going to do it this way. Just go square. Extrude down 0.25 negative. Okay, go away all that. Right, so now I've very clearly cut away 5 holes of the C channel. And if I were to mirror this piece, over this plane, right, it gets mirrored with the changes applied. So yeah, that's the mirror tool.